So last class we completed verse number 28, if I am right. So we will start by chanting verse number 28 first. Avyaktadini bhutani vyaktamadhyani bharata avyakta nidhananyeva tatra ka paridevana. So we had seen this verse in the last class, where Krishna says all things were unmanifest in the beginning. Everything existed in seed form. They become manifest in the middle, and then again they become unmanifest. So we don't know where we came from, but we are manifest now. We are able to see, we are able to feel we exist now. And once somebody dies, we don't know where we go. So from unmanifest we become manifest, and then we become unmanifest again. So this cycle continues. How, in what form we manifest depends on our karmic factors. But definitely from unmanifest we become manifest in some form or other, and then we become unmanifest again. So this cycle continues on and on. Then what is the purpose of all this? Why should we continue this cycle from manifest, unmanifest to manifest and again unmanifest? Is there a way out? So that is what Krishna had described in detail about the Atma. Now he is going to conclude the discussion about the Atma in the coming two verses, because having said enough about the Atma, he is now going to conclude discussing about the nature of the Atma. After that, he is going to take up further topics, which we will see as we go by. So now let us move on to the verse number 29. आश्चर्यवत् पश्याति कश्चिदेनम् आश्चर्यवद वदति तथैव चान्यः आश्चर्यवा चैनम् अन्यः शृणोति श्रुत्वाप्येनं वेद न चैव कश्चित्. So here Krishna is talking about having discussed all the characteristics or the nature of the Atma. He says Atma is a wonder. One who looks upon the self as a wonder, another one speaks of it as a wonder, one who hears it, it is a wonder, and still after hearing all this, one who does not understand also is a wonder. Now Krishna is telling Arjuna, even if you don't understand Atma, it's okay, because you are not the only one. In fact, most of the people do not understand Atma. So we always feel we should not be alone. So even in our class, we will, if the teacher is explaining something we don't understand, after the class we ask some 10 people, did you understand? Did you understand? If everybody says, if more people say don't understand, appa, I am not the only one, I have got company. But if everybody says it was, I could understand, then we will feel, oh, something is wrong with me. So similarly, Krishna tells her, is conveying that not knowing Atma is nothing new. In fact, there are very few people who understand Atma, because it is something which is a wonder. So if you understand Atma, it's a wonder. Other one says, how can anybody understand it? It is nothing which is understandable to me. The one who teaches about the Atma, that is also a wonder. And the one who listens, oh, this is what is Atma, for him also it's a wonder. And there are many or most of the people who try to understand it, but they never understand it. That is also a wonder. Now, why is this a wonder? Basically, we are all looking for two things in life. One is security, other one is happiness. So we spend our entire lives searching for these two things. Sometimes we feel we have got these things to some extent, but it doesn't stay. We go all around the world searching for these two things without understanding the fact that indirectly what you are looking for is you. Because the other name of security and happiness is Atma, which is you. So we go all around the world trying to find these two things without knowing that the source is you itself. There's a story of a train journey where one person, he was a merchant, he was carrying lots of money and he was going on a long journey from Kanyakumari to Kashmir. It used to take 3 days to 4 days to reach. So this person was carrying this lot of cash which he had got from his business and going to his place. One thief also got into the train. He knew that this person is carrying this cash. So he thought if he gets a chance, he can take that money and run away. So he was sitting next to this merchant and he was talking to him, trying to understand him. Now, when the night came, the merchant went to sleep. He was sleeping peacefully. This thief tried to find where he had kept the money. Somehow he could not locate it. Next day again they got up. Again the day journey continued. They were talking and having their food, enjoying the journey. Again night, the thief tried to search whatever he could see the merchant was carrying in that bag or whatever. Still he could not find. The same thing continued on the third day also. 3 nights had passed, but the thief was never able to find the cash. And the 4th day they were supposed to reach the place. So there was no further scope for the thief to find the source of that cash, where he had kept it, so that he could take it away. So finally the thief surrendered. He told the merchant, I am a thief and I know you are carrying cash, but I tried my best trying to search wherever you kept it. Somehow I could never find. Without knowing this, if I go, my head will burst. So please tell me, where did you keep this cash which I could not find? The merchant said, very simple. Every night before going to bed, when you are going to the bathroom, I used to keep the cash under your pillow. And next morning when you again went to the bathroom, I used to take the cash and keep it in my bag. So this I did every night. So this is what happens to all of us. We search everywhere, but where the actual thing is available, we don't look there. Similarly, we find we look at the wrong places. We search for things in the wrong places. So there was this person who was standing outside his hut and trying to search for something. So another person came. What are you searching? He said, my ring has fallen down here. Oh, okay, let me also help you. So like this, then few people gathered, everybody was searching for the ring. Then one person came. Okay, just remember, where did you last see the ring? Where did you drop it? He said, I dropped it inside the house. So then why are you all searching here? You should search inside the house. He said, there is no light inside the house, so I am not able to see inside. So that is why I am searching outside. So if you look at all these stories, we are all looking for something. We are searching outside. We are searching inside also. We are searching inside also to find these things without knowing that Atma is neither outside nor inside. It is you. So that is the wonder. So when you realize you are the Atma, it is a wonder. Oh, how can I be the Atma? I am just a small person. Okay, I have done well reasonably in my life. But I cannot be the source of everything, because Atma is the source of everything. Everything exists because of Atma. And I am just a small human being. How can I be that Atma? So it is a wonder for that person. The person who teaches self-knowledge, he is trying to teach something which is not available for perception. You can explain anything, whatever we learned from our school days till whatever we are continuing to learn about the external things. Maybe some topics are difficult. Maybe if somebody is teaching rocket science, we may not be able to understand it. But if somebody is keen and has the enough qualification, you can also understand rocket science. But it may not be understood by everybody. Or you take theory of relativity. Not many of us can even understand what that equation is. E is equal to mc square. Okay. Whatever E stands for or mc square stands for, okay, we can expand that. But how many of us will really understand this theory of relativity? So when it comes to some of the worldly things itself, we are not able to understand. And here we are talking about something which is not visible, which is not available for perception through any of the sense organs. So how do we understand this? So somebody who is teaching also has to teach something which is not teachable in the normal sense. And the one who hears it also, for him also, it's a wonder. Oh, this is what he is talking about. So for everyone, Atma is a wonder. And there are many of us who may try to understand it. We attend classes, we religiously study the texts, but even after years, we still don't know even a little about the Atma. At some time we feel, okay, we have understood something, but then after some time we realize that we have not understood anything. So this cycle continues. So Atma is something which is a wonder. It's an open secret. It is not that it's a secret. It is not that only some people can. Anybody wants to know Atma, they can try to understand the Atma. It's an open secret. But because it is open, nobody, like we have this open book test. Because we think it's open book, we can easily write the exam, but we might spend most of the time looking for the answer in the book, and finally we may end up not writing anything, because which page, which part of which chapter the answer was, we are not able to find. So same thing, people spend a lifetime trying to understand the Atma, but many of the people, or most of the people, end up not understanding the Atma at all. Because that is, if everybody understands it, there's no problem. But we spend our lives looking for this, trying to understand it. Some of us don't even make an attempt to understand. So one who makes an attempt and doesn't understand is better off, or one who doesn't make an attempt? Maybe the person, like they say, ignorance is bliss. So maybe the person who doesn't understand is better off than the person who has spent 30 years trying to understand and still could not understand anything. But coming back to the topic, so what Krishna says is, only through self-knowledge you can get out of this cycle of unmanifest to manifest and manifest to unmanifest again. This cycle will continue as long as you are ignorant. And ignorance can be only removed through knowledge. There is no other way. And knowledge of what? Knowledge of the Atma. So this is the most wonderful thing in the world, knowing the self. All the other things, whatever we understand, there's nothing wonderful about it. But unfortunately, knowing everything else but not knowing self is the biggest wonder. So this Krishna concludes the discussion on Atma by telling about the glory of the Atma, the wonder of the Atma. Now he is going to conclude in the next verse about the Atma. So let us move on to the verse number 30. Dehi nityam avadhyoyam dehe sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani na tvam sochitum arhasi. So this is the final verse in this discussion about the Atma. Krishna says, Arjuna, Bharata or Arjuna, this Atma which dwells in the bodies of all beings is indestructible. Therefore, you need not grieve for anything or anybody. So already he has explained the nature of the Atma in detail, how the Atma all pervasive. We have seen all the characteristics of the Atma. So finally, if you have understood all this, then you have no need to grieve. So there is no need to grieve. So basically, our fears are only related to death. What will happen when I die? Will I continue to exist? So we have to, from all, so far we have understood about the Atma. It should remove the fear of death from us, because the Lord himself confirms that only your body is going to die. You are going to continue forever. You are eternal. So you will continue to exist always. The choice is whether you want to come back in different forms and suffer. Because when you come back in any form, it is going to be suffering. So you have a choice of not coming back in any form. You will continue to exist still. It is not that you disappear. You don't exist at all. You will exist, but you will not come back in any form and again go through the sufferings. So basically, accept mortality of the body. It is going to perish someday or other. It could be today, it could be next 10 years, or it could be next 20 years. Accept this. Accept death. Welcome death whenever it happens. Okay, this body has to go sometime. Let it go whenever this is supposed to go. Because again, we don't have any control over the time of death. Probably only Bhishma had this boon of Ichamrityu, where he could decide when he wanted to leave the body. But the rest, whoever came before us and whoever will come after us and whoever is existing now, we don't have a choice. So we go through as per our karma. So depending on the karma, this body will exist till we exhaust the karma which has fructified at this moment. Once the karma is depleted, you already used up, you leave this body and then you get another body depending on the karma that you have done now and already what is existing karma. Based on that, you will get another body and you will continue to. So first thing is accept that death is inevitable. Don't fear death. Of course, it's very easy to say. It takes a lot of understanding. So not many people can accept death, whether it is, we can easily accept death of somebody unknown in some part of the world. Oh, there was a bomb explosion and some 100 people died. Okay, poor fellows, we'll just pray for their soul. But suppose it happens to anybody known, or somebody was traveling in a vehicle which had an accident and you know that person, then accepting that becomes a problem. All of us. So it is not that death will, everybody can say, okay, somebody's got to die, let him go or her go. That's all. It's easy to say that. Definitely, however wisdom we gain, death will definitely shake up people when we come across it. But how you come out of it depends on your knowledge. So the more we understand Atma, the more we understand the indestructible nature of Atma, we will be able to understand the process of death and birth. And the more we understand the process of death and birth, the lesser sorrow we will have when it comes to death. And continue to understand, the more you understand the Atma, ultimately you reach a stage where you know that you are that indestructible Atma. And the moment you know that, it is not going to change your status. It is not that once you understand Atma, you become a different person. You are going to be the same person. But your understanding makes you realize that you are that very Atma on which everything else depends. So you don't have to fear anything, you don't have to worry about death. So that is what Krishna tells Arjuna and concludes the description of the Atma. So far from verse number 11, where Krishna starts talking about the Atma, don't grieve. That's what he started off by saying, don't grieve over things which are not worth grieving for. And then he explains why you should not grieve for anything, because you are indestructible. So from verse number 11 to now verse number 30, Krishna has explained in detail about the Atma. He also knows that, again, like in the previous verse, he said that it's a wonder. So even after all this, we may still not. Arjuna, forget about us. Arjuna himself may not have been convinced that he was that Atma. That is why now Krishna is going to further talk about other things other than Atma. We will read the verse number 31. Swadharmapi chavekshya na vikampitum arhasi dharma yadhi yuddha shreyo nyat kshatriyas yasya na vidyate kshatriyasya na vidyate. Now, from so far Krishna had discussed the philosophical angle, why he should fight, by explaining the nature of the Atma. So he had so far used the philosophical angle to tell Arjuna why he should fight. But as he himself knows that it is not easy to understand the Atma and then understand it and then follow that, now he goes to the dharmic level. So ethically, so now he is telling Arjuna ethically the reasons why he should fight. Philosophically, he has already explained in detail. Now, ethically, he is going to tell why Arjuna should fight. So, in this verse, he says, forget about whether you have understood the Atma or not. From the standpoint of your duty itself, you cannot refuse to fight. Because as a Kshatriya, there is nothing bigger than a war fought for dharma. So this is what this verse Krishna is trying to convey. So now from verse number 31 to 33, Krishna is going to tell Arjuna the ethical level, why he should fight this war ethically, or in our Shastras we call it as dharma. So philosophical angle is discussed in detail. Now next 3 verses he is going to talk about the dharmic angle, which we will see in detail in the next class.